Hey everybody, I'm gonna talk to you while I water the seeds that I just planted, because it's a good time to talk while you're watering the beds and watering your seeds. So right now is the time in the garden where we're middle September and it's sort of like, ooh. And what I mean by that is we're about 4 weeks away from our last frost day, so anything that you plant now that would take more than 4 weeks to grow is kind of like a toss in the air. You just don't know. And so I did a planting of beets and carrots earlier in August, but August was still super hot and I was not doing good at keeping the beds watered, and y'all know what that means for seeds, right? So for seeds, that's no good because they need water to grow, and little seedlings need lots of water for their roots to keep growing. So honestly, there's some beets coming up and some carrots are just popping out, and I'm really grateful for that, but there's scarcity and a lot of space in between the seedlings, so not a huge success. But I've gone ahead and reseeded more seeds amongst the plants that have already come up, and we'll see what happens to that. And you know, it's so good that this happens sometimes. This is only our first year growing from, well, I mean, this is our first year gardening, truly, by ourselves. And this is our first year going from summer to fall. And I was really excited to see how the plants do, because in the spring when you plant seeds, I feel like it just takes an eternity to see them come up. Especially the root crops took so long to grow, and I think it's that season where you've got the cool going to warm. Everything is slow starting, and so it just feels like an eternity, and also the things grow slower because it's not, you know, the optimal heat for them to be growing. And with all that, I was very excited to see what fall would have, because we're going from warm to cool, and so I would see how the crops would do going from a warm season to cooler. So kind of they would get the bulk of their growing in because it's warm, and slow down as it gets cooler, which I was very excited to see. And now I will still get to see it, but I won't be able to see it on the scale that I was hoping. So anyway, that is a garden for you. And also that's a garden for you when you're in the thick of summer doing stuff, preserving, you know, all the things. This is the bed that I'm currently watering. And I'm gonna swap hands because it's hot to hold ya. So yeah, that's what's currently happening. It is very exciting to grow a garden because each year is truly a learning experience. Really just seeing how seeds grow and what they like, what works for them, the soil conditions, the heat, the watering, companionship side by side, the timing of it all. I mean, we can never time the seasons. We just know that it's roughly from this time to this time, and it'll do something kind of like this, but we can't determine if it's going to be super hot, if it's going to rain a lot, or be a total drought. So many things just out of our hand, and all we can do is sort of learn what the seasons like and require and plant accordingly. So I am really grateful that this was a year in the garden where I got to learn a whole lot more. And that knowledge no one can take away from you, so it doesn't matter what the success is, but although it is nice to harvest some things to eat and give away. Now the fall garden. I mean, this is sort of where people want to give up a little. Or this is sort of where people want to throw in the towel and say, that was good, thank you very much, but I'm done now. And I must say that I was very tempted to do the same, although I knew that now was the time to not stop. There were so many things that we grew this summer that I wasn't really ready to eat. It was too hot, and that I know that we're gonna crave for the winter time, like beet and carrot and turnips and radishes and pak choy, and now just salads again. So many things that we're gonna want, and that inspires me to keep planting this garden, because I know that we're going to be eating so much still from it, even though there's only 4 weeks left until our first frost. That is kind of sad to say, but still so much good to come out of this garden, and so we will keep planting and keep watering. Luckily for us, there is a lot of rain in the forecast, so that will lessen the water load for sure. And I'm excited to see some new stuff that we're trying. New Chinese lettuces and turnips and mustards, dark carrots. So, oh, and we've got broccolini in this year. That'll be lovely to see grow and try. Cabbages for winter. Just can't wait. So I hope that y'all are planting your fall gardens also, and if you're not yet, just throw seeds in and see what happens. You just don't know, depending on what your area is. Oh, the other thing I was gonna say, let me swap hands. It doesn't really matter when your first frost is, because you can combat that by covering your seedlings. Now that is another mission, whether you choose to make a tunnel or, throw over some cloth. You can buy cloth from a garden place, or even some hardware stores carry it, that you can cover your beds, which make it a whole lot warmer, almost put them in a different zone, sort of. The other thing it'll do that's great is it'll protect it from the frost. Now the soil will get cooler, of course, but the area around where your seedlings are will stay warmer a bit longer. So there's things you can do to combat it and extend your season a little bit longer if you don't have a greenhouse, like us. We don't have one. If you don't have a greenhouse. So yeah, this is not the time to give up hope yet. So much yet to do. So get planting, try something. Even if it's just a bit of lettuce, which grows really quickly. That's the other thing that you can do, is just plant a whole bunch of stuff that grows really quickly, like pak choi. Lettuce will be rather quick. You could start some kale, which will grow in the cool temperatures, so it'll just slow down. What else? Swiss chard may still come up. I mean, I just put my seeds in, so let's see. And we're, I think, in zone 8, so if that helps you gauge your area. Just learn, throw stuff in and see what happens, or go to your greenhouse, or go to a garden center close by you and buy some starts. That's another great option if you don't have any seeds, and you will be weeks ahead than me and many other people, so worth a try. Happy gardening, guys. Let's do this fall garden thing. Yeah!